Welcome to Chapter 0, Lesson 12, Measures of Center, Variation, and Position. So this one is very vocabulary heavy and I apologize, but our first vocabulary word is a variable. And this is something that you should know. So it's a characteristic of a group or people or objects that can assume different values. Your data is the different values a variable could be. Your measurement or quantitative data is data that can have units or can be measured. And then your categorical or qualitative data is data that can be organized into different categories. You've also got univariate data, and that uses a single number to summarize what is average or typical. So unicycle, one number. Measures of center, central tendency. Those are types of measure that show average. And the three types of measures of center are listed below. So you have your mean, which is the sum of the values in a data set divided by the total number of values in the set. So you guys say is you add them all up and divide by how many there are. Then there's the median, or the middle value, or the mean of the two middle values. So if you get down to 48 and 49, are both the middle values, you add them up and divide by 2 to get 48.5. And that only works when the data is arranged in numerical order. And then finally is the mode. So that's the most often. It's the one that's there the most. There could be no mode, one mode, or many modes. So here, this table below shows the number of hits Johnny made for his team. We want to find the mean, the median, and the mode. So to get our mean, we add them all up. So 3 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7, and divide by how many, there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go 3 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 26 divided by 6, and I get 4.333 repeating, which I know I can write that as 4 1/3 is our mean. Our median we get by putting all of our numbers in numerical order. So I'm going to do that down here. I've got 2 is smallest, 3, 3, 5, 6, and then 7. So to get our mean, or median, we cross off. So smallest, biggest, and we end up with 2 numbers there in the middle. So I'm going to take 3 plus 5 and divide that by 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So our median in this set of numbers is 4. And then finally we need our mode. And our mode is the number that shows up the most. So in this case, 3 shows up twice, and it's the only number that shows up multiple times. So our mode is 3. And some more vocabulary for us, because we love it, is measures of spread or measures of variation. And that describes how widely the data values vary. So one of our measures of spread would be the range, and that's the difference between the maximum and the minimum values in the data set. So it's your max minus your min, your biggest number minus your smallest number. So here it says the times in minutes it took Emily to walk to school each day this week are 18, 15, 15, 12, and 14. So we need to find the range. So in this case, our max is 18 and our min is 12, because there's no number smaller than 12 and no number bigger than 18. So 18 minus 12 gets us 6. So the range is 6 minutes. I'll even include a label for you. Some more vocabulary are measures of position. So these show the position of values relative to other values in a set. So you've got your quartiles. And they divide a data set arranged in ascending order into 4 groups, each containing 25% of the data. So quartile 1 has the smallest 25%. Quartile 2 has the second 25%. Quartile 3 has the top of the middle of 25%. And quartile 4 has the top 25% of the data. Your lower quartile, which is quartile 1, is the median of the lower half. So it's the middle number of the bottom half of data. So then your upper quartile, which is quartile 3, is the median of the upper half of the data. And we'll put that into action coming up. So then you've got your 5-number summary. And what the 5-number summary is the 3 quartiles. So quartiles 1, 2, and 3, because quartile 4 is your max, along with the minimum and maximum values. So down in our example here, it says the number of boxes of donuts Cassie sold for a fundraiser each day for the last 11 days were 22, 16, 35, 26, 14, 17, 28, 29, 21, 17, and 20. Whew. So we want to find the 5-number summary and then interpret it. So to find that, first thing we need to do is put them in order. So I see 14 there being the smallest, 16, 17 shows up twice, 1, 2, 21, 26, 28, 29. I wonder if I can do this. I'm going to move that over so I can fit it. Ugh. 35. And then, guess what? I missed 2 numbers, so we're going to move over again. See, we're all human. We make mistakes. We've got to fit 20 and 22 in there. So 20, 22. Okay, I've got all my numbers. That's why you should cross them off as you go, because like I did, I missed 2 in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the median. So smallest, biggest, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. So our median is 22. Now to figure out our quartile 1, we are going to take, well actually let's get our minimums and our maximums first, because those are also the easiest ones. I don't even know why I didn't start with that. Our min is 14, because that's the smallest number in our list. And then our max is 35. So the 2 other quartiles we need, because our median is also Q2. It's our second quartile. So to figure out our first quartile there, we are going to take the numbers not including our median to figure out quartile 1. So we're going to go, I'm going to switch my color here, and we're going to cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. And our quartile 1 is 17, because that's what's left. And then our quartile 2, small, small, big, or not quartile 2, quartile 3. We already have quartile 2. Quartile 3 is 28. So it's the middle of the top half of the data and the middle of the bottom half of the data. So what this shows me, by interpreting our data here, is it's showing me that for 25% of the time, I'm looking at this piece of data for quartile 1, 25% of the time, he sold less than 17 boxes, or more than 28. So 75% of the time, he sold fewer than 78 boxes. 100% of the time, he sold more than 14 or less than 35. Okay, 50% of the time, he sold 22. So that's what our 5-number summaries tell us. Some more vocabulary here for us is the interquartile range, the IQR. So that's the difference between the upper and the lower quartile. So quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And then the interquartile range contains 50% of the data. So it's 50% of the data that's on the middle of the data set. An outlier is an extremely high or an extremely low value when compared to the rest of the data. They are numbers that are 1.5 times the IQR away from the upper and lower quartiles. So you take the interquartile range times 1.5, and then you either add that number to quartile 3 or subtract that number from quartile 1. If your number is outside of whatever number you come up with, then it's an outlier. So students taking a makeup test received the following scores. We want to find any outliers of the data. So what we need to do is put these in order. So we got 45. And being more careful this time, 71. 79, 88, oh, see, I already missed 82. 82, and then there's two 88s. 88, 88, 90, 94. I'm getting kind of squishy here. I don't know how that just happened. 94. So, to find the outliers, first thing we need to do is figure out our interquartile range. To figure out our interquartile range, we need our quartiles. So I'm going to figure out the median. Oops, I double tapped that one there. Big, small. Our median is somewhere in between 88 and 82. So that would be 88 plus 82. Divided by 2. To get us 85. Then, to figure out our quartiles, we don't include our median, but we're still going to use this 82 here. So our quartile 1, I'm going to use orange. We cross off 82, 45. It's somewhere between 71 and 79. So 71 plus 79 divided by 2 gets our quartile 1 to be 75. We need to know our quartile 3. So small, big, it's somewhere between 88 and 90, and I know that the number between 88 and 90 is 89. Then our IQR is our quarter 3 of 89 minus our quarter 1 of 75 to get us 14. To figure out if we have an outlier, we need to take that 14 times 1.5 to get us 21. We're going to take this 21 minus our quartile 1 and plus our quartile 3. So 75 minus 21 gets us 54. 89 plus 21 gets us 110. Is there any number that is outside of 54 and 110? There sure is. That 45 is. So our outlier in this data is 45. Because it's outside of that range that we had. Now it wants us to find the mean and median of the data set with and without the outlier and describe what happens. So I'm going to erase a lot of our mess up here so we have some room to work. I'm going to keep my numbers in order up there though. So with outlier and without. So we know our median here was 85. If we go up and take out this number and then figure out our new median, we're going to go big, small, big, small, big, small. Our median is 88. So going from including our outlier and taking it out, our median went up by 3 points. Let's see what happens to our mean. So our mean, we're going to add them all up. So we've got 88 plus 79 plus 94 plus 90 plus 45 plus 71 plus 82 plus 88. And that equals 637. And then we're going to divide by how many there are. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So dividing by 8. Our mean is 79.625. Now let's check out our mean without our outlier of 45. So we're going to go 88 plus 79 plus 94 plus 90, skip the 45, plus 71 plus 82 plus 88 to get 592. And now we're dividing by 7. And we get 84.57. So our mean went up as well. Because we took out the way small number, both of our measures of center moved up because it was less skewed.